Join the fandom menace and execute your own Order 66 with our incredible line of t-shirts, Soylo, a Soy Wars story, Tico, a Soy Wars story, and our brand new smoking hot Soy Wars Plan 9. Make a statement today. This is the only trilogy you'll ever need. The link is below in the description.
Hello, I started this gangster shit. And this the mother thanks I get. Hello, I started this gangster shit. And this the mother thanks I get.
All right, let's get it. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You're listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry. This is of concern. Brand new news. Dave Filoni, not involved in the day-to-day of Star Wars Resistance. Cowboy Dave, what are you doing? Cowboy Dave is off the reservation. Where did he go, Patrick Cavanaugh? Let me know. Let me know in a glib fashion. In the glib fashion that Patrick Cavanaugh has become famous for. Comicbook.com no longer has /Star Wars anymore. Why? Shame. That's why. Shame. Both Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and Star Wars Rebels have been lauded for their compelling stories, thanks in large part to the vision of producer Cowboy Dave Filoni. Cowboy Dave, who helped bring both stories to life, both series to life. Filoni has accomplished so much within the medium that many fans put his name at the top of the list of directors that they'd like to see shoulder tackle Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy right out of Lucasfilm, right out of Disney Lucasfilm. They'd like to see him, knock him down, and then, corkscrew elbow drop. Boom! Right on Rian Johnson's round head. That's what most fans would like to see. They'd also like to see him take on a number of different live action or theatrically released projects. While Filoni is involved with the next animated project for the saga, Star Wars Resistance, the director admitted he hasn't really been directly involved with each step of the show's development. This is bad news. I have long suspected that Dave Filoni feels a little bit broken down by what's been going on at Lucasfilm. Of course, we know that Lucasfilm is now a tribal situation. There are Kathleen Kennedy loyalists, and there is the actual resistance. There is the resistance to Kathleen Kennedy's insistent destruction of Star Wars, the Star Wars legacy, the Star Wars franchise, and there are those who are willingly aiding and abetting her in doing what she's doing. There are those who are in support of Kathleen Kennedy emasculating Luke Skywalker. They like it. They themselves have been emasculated. I wonder if that's the case. I wonder if once you've been emasculated, once you find yourself depenicized, if you also become an emasculator yourself. This is a theory that I would like you guys to comment on in the comments. Let me know what you think of that question. That is serious. Let's do Dave Filoni's voice here. Dave Filoni, he's like the Johnny Cash in my head anyway, and not in real life. In real life, he doesn't sound like this. We were disappointed. We were disappointed to discover that. I don't want to go into that too much. I don't want to go into what Dave Filoni actually sounds like. That's disappointing. Let's do Dave Filoni's imaginary voice when we read his dialogue here. Resistance is a bit different, and that I'm not in on that day to day. Filoni noted to IGN, I created and I set it in motion, but I've given that to other people to raise up. People that I've worked with a long time, who I think deserve the opportunity to tell stories, and I think it's exciting. And I give them my thoughts and my notes. I was just doing that this morning, like George Lucas. He calls George Lucas George. He knows him that well. That's awesome, dude. I love Dave Filoni. He's like, hey, like George. Yeah, like George. Like George Lucas would give me. So that's fun. All right, so that's concerning. Basically, he said, you know what? I've done this. Let me just give it to some monkeys that I found. Let me just give this to some apes. Let me just give this to some weirdos that I pulled in. Let them deal with it. A bunch of chimpanzees on a typewriter. They can figure it out. I'm going to go... typewriters. People don't use typewriters anymore, but I'm just going to go off over here, and I'm going to love the ladies. I'm going to love the lovely ladies. Let these guys... This is my retirement. Let these guys handle Star Wars The Resistance. All right, this is bad news, guys. This is really, really terrible. It means that there's been a break in the heart of Dave Filoni. The Clone Wars took place between the events of Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, while Rebels took place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. The upcoming series takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, and with the final sequence of Rebels teasing which heroes survived to the time period of Resistance, fans have wondered if those characters will make their way into the series somehow. While the timelines would allow for these creators or these characters to cross over, don't expect Filoni to let anyone else take over complete creative control for those characters' fates. All right, so Dave can't hang on. He's like, I can't let go. I mean, he's hanging on. He's oh man, it's so sad. It's just like he's hanging on to the last spark of life of Star Wars. We believe in you, Dave. That would be hard. That would be, to be honest, that would be really hard for me to do at this point. Just because I've been a part of it for so long, since especially Ahsoka's beginning. Filoni shared with comicbook.com when asked if he could see other storytellers continue the adventures of Ahsoka and Sabine. I can't imagine not being involved in some way with what would happen to her. Or Sabine. Am I pronouncing that right? Sabine? I haven't seen Sabine yet. I just started watching the Clone Wars, for that matter. He added, I didn't want something that wrapped up too neatly for Rebels. I wanted this feeling of adventure continuing, and I thought who better to continue the adventure than these two women who were very compelling in both. You know, it's like a unification of Clone Wars and Rebels, really, taking these two characters further. Dave, whatever you say. I think it's a great deal of ideas. Wait, I have a great deal of ideas on what they've been up to and where they go. It's really, I think, fantastic. Stay tuned for details of Star Wars Resistance. Are you disappointed? They want to know. The Wolfman wants to know, are you disappointed that Filoni won't be as actively involved in the series? Let us know. How can anyone not be so disappointed? I want to know this. I don't want to know, are you disappointed? I take that for granted. I assume that you are disappointed. What I would like to know is, at what point? At what point do we join Dave Filoni in a hostile takeover of Lucasfilm, of Disney Lucasfilm? Do we storm the castle and rescue Star Wars from these people? Dave, you're our last hope. You've got to do something about this. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Star Wars Resistance isn't where your heart is. Maybe it's time that you actually take complete control of Lucasfilm and fix this damn mess. Fix it. Dave. Cowboy Dave. Cowboy Dave. Tell us if you need us to posse up. But in the meantime, man, this is your job. This is your destiny. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.